Hello, I'm Mr. Bartholomew. I will be your fifth grade teacher this year. And a couple things about myself. I've been teaching fifth grade since 2003. It's been a long time. And I also have a 15-year-old daughter named Summer, who is a sophomore. I have a 2-year-old son named Blake, and who will be in daycare while my wife and I are teaching, which will be a little crazy. And my wife is also a teacher, and she teaches for the IU 13. I went to Juniata College, got my degree there, and then I went to Millersville University and got my master's degree in sport management. So enough about myself. I'm going to let Mrs. Myer come on. But first I got to put my mask back on.
Hey, I'm Mrs. Myer. I'm just going to wipe down the station here after Mr. B was in. We're going to make sure we keep everything nice and clean. I'm Mrs. Myer. It's nice to meet you. I've been a teacher here since 1999. I have 2 degrees from Millersville, my undergraduate and my graduate, and a reading specialist. I have a family of 4, so I have 2 children. I have Olivia, who's 17. She's a senior at Ephrata High School, hoping for a soccer season, and I have a 13-year-old who is entering 8th grade. So we're looking forward to a fun back-to-school in-person experience. We're excited to have you. And next, we're going to take you on a tour. We're going to show you how our day is going to run. So you're going to spend all of your day in your homeroom, and Mr. Bartholomew and I will be switching. So let me show you our first room. This is my room, 203. So here we go. We have all our desks all lined up and we're ready to go. And when you want to come over here and see Mr. Bartholomew's room, you'll find him in 202. And as you can see, he is all set up and ready to go as well. Okay, we can go back to my room and we're going to talk about the schedule a little bit. So let Mr. Bartholomew begin.
All right, I'm back again. Sorry you have to hear me and not Mrs. Myer for a little bit, but we'll be fine. Class schedule, we switch. So my students, you will be with me half the day, and then you will be with Mrs. Myer half the day. Mrs. Myer's students, you will be with her half the day, and then of course you will be with me half the day. How we have set this up for now is when you come in the morning, we'll have basically homeroom and classroom community till about 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock till around 10:30, my students, you will be with me for math instruction. And then from 10:30 to around 11:05, we will have science instruction. Then we go to we go to recess. Then we have lunch, and I will pick you back up around 12 o'clock. We'll come back up to the room, and this year, 5th grade, our special will be 12 o'clock to 12:45. So it's a little different. Usually we had special at the end of the day, but it's going to be right after lunch this year. Then my students, you will stay in my room. Mrs. Myer will come to you. I will come over to Mrs. Myer's room, and I will instruct her students in math for about an hour and a half or so, and then we will do science instruction till around 2:50, 2:55, and then it is ready for dismissal. So as you can see, these times they could change a little bit, but that's kind of the structure we have going for now. And again, I will be your math and science teacher, and I'll let Mrs. Myer talk a little bit too about her schedule and how ELA and social studies will work.
Okay, I'm back. So we're going to start my homeroom in here, just like Mr. Bartholomew said, for his classroom. They'll start in the room. We'll do a community kind of activity until 9 o'clock. Then we'll start ELA, which will be a combination of some reading and some comprehension skills. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we'll move into writing for the second half of that morning time. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we'll spend time in social studies, where we'll be doing a variety of different units, and there'll be projects that you can extend your learning and show us what you've learned. Then we'll go to recess. You'll be staying with your own class during recess and move into lunch. You'll be sitting with your class. Then I will pick you up at noon. You'll come back upstairs. The special teacher will come up and join you here for special for that 45 minutes. Then Mr. Bartholomew will come over here and join our classroom, and he will teach you math and science topics. Okay. Just a little idea of what reading looks like. So we have an anthology series, which is Wonders. You would have used that all the way up through. We've had this for quite a bit of time. We do some reading activities and some comprehension activities. We have spelling and we have writing. So we'll be working on 3 different types of genres, persuasive, narrative, and expository over the course of the year. We will pull in different news magazines and story works to highlight different things, and we'll have some novel studies as well. In social studies, we'll cover geography and Native Americans. We'll do exploration, early settlements, and finally we'll move into an evolving nation, and we'll cover things like westward expansion, industrial revolution, and immigration. I'll let Mr. B talk a little bit about the math and science topics.
All right, thanks, Mrs. Myer. With math, we're going to be using math expressions, which I'm sure a lot of you have a lot of background with already. We will get into addition and subtraction of fractions right away. And trust me, we will take our time. We're not going to rush. I know with March last year, it was tough going home and trying to do the learning at home with everything going on. So please understand with math, we will take our time. We'll do a lot of review. And Unit 1, again, we'll be adding and subtracting of fractions. We'll get into decimal work. We will actually multiply and divide fractions this year, which is a big step for 5th graders as they go to the middle school. Also, we will multiply and divide whole numbers and decimals. We will get into order of operations. We will get into a lot of word problems, and they can be pretty challenging, but again, we'll take our time, we'll work our way through it. And finally, we will finish up with a lot of conversions, and we will get into geometry as we finish the math year. In science, we will start with cells and body systems. We will get into classification of living things and plant growth. Then in trimester 2, we will get into weather and the water cycle, oceans, and we will explore outer space, Earth, Moon, and beyond. And in trimester 3, we will get into a lot of information about forces, motion, Newton's laws of motion, and we will have, again, quizzes, tests, projects. And one other thing I just wanted to talk about quickly is, we all need to stay positive. It's going to be a big change. It's going to be a lot different than other years. And we need to understand that we need to stay positive and also realize and we need to be patient through all of this too, because the learning curve for everybody. So I think if we can stay positive and patient through the beginning of the year, it'll go a lot smoother as we work our way through. The last thing I think that we want to talk about is technology and laptops. Each 5th grader will get their own laptop. And Mrs. Myer and myself are still working on a plan when we are going to start sending them home with students. So you can expect that down the road. It's not going to happen right away when the kids come in. It's going to take a little bit of time. But we will eventually send that home with the kids. So just be on the lookout for information about laptops coming home. And it's awesome that the 5th graders each will get their own laptop. It's really cool because we'll be able to use that a lot throughout the school day. And the kids will be able to take it home and also work through some things. I'll let Mrs. Myer say anything about technology if she'd like.
Well, I think it's actually time for us to wrap it up. Mrs. Marley asked us to keep it to 3 to 5 minutes, so I could talk a whole bunch more, but I think I'm going to cap it here. I want you to know we're going to have a great year, and we really look forward to having you. You want to come and join me, Mr. Bartholomew, with your mask on?
Yep.
And we want to look forward to seeing you on the 25th.
Yep.
Have a great day.
A great year, guys. All
yep.
right.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.